أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah and thank you. On behalf of the Southern Region Committee of ICANN, I would like to welcome all the participants in today's seminar, which is on the management of individual performance. And for this seminar, we have invited Mr. Tariq Said, who is from Johnson & Johnson. So before I invite Tariq for his presentation, and it's a pleasure for me introducing Mr. Tariq Said to you. Tariq is performing as the head of human resources with Johnson & Johnson's Pakistan from last 13 years, and he has earlier worked with very renowned companies like AG, TNT, etc. And he is playing a very active role in various HR and management forums, and a member of Managing Committee of Employees Federation of Pakistan. Other than that, he's also the member of various committees like the Women's Employment Development in EFP and the committees of American Business Council for HR, Industrial Relations, Labor Law and Security. And Mr. Tariq is also a visiting faculty at various business schools and regular guest speakers at prominent institutions as well. And he is especially interested in the performance of organizations and their development, with emphasis in the performance of individuals with their organizations. We have with us Mr. Zafar Aziz Usmani, who will be here as the session chairman, and again he is a very well-known personality in the field of HR. Mr. Usmani is presently associated with Karachi Electric Supply Corporation, and he is there as the group head organization management, and he has a challenge in this company. He has a challenge of restructuring the organizational structure and management of employees, and just to make not only the company more efficient, but also a very good structured organization. Mr. Usmani has more than 38 years of experience in the Middle East and South Asia, and he has worked for various worldwide private and state-owned institutions. And he is also, he worked for the Habib Bank Limited also. And in his most recent roles as the senior executive of vice president and member management committee for HPL, he was acting as the head of human resources and organization development. Mr. Usmani led the successful organization restructuring post-privatization in the largest private bank in Pakistan, and he holds a master's degree in industrial relations from the University of Punjab, Lahore. And with these words, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to invite Mr. Tariq Said for his presentation. I would also like to share with you a brief schedule of program. We'll have our first break for the Maghrib prayer, say around about 6:40, and it will be of 20 minutes. After that, Mr. Tariq will continue his presentation, which will be followed by a question-answer session. And at the end, we'd like to invite Mr. Usmani for his concluding remarks. So please welcome, put your hands together, and we'll invite Mr. Tariq Said for his presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I must thank the convener of the Seminar and Training Committee at the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Pakistan, Mr. Mahmood. I would also like to thank specially Mr. Usmani for accepting to come over as the session chairman. And in the end, and the most, not the least, to Shahida Sajjad, Dr. Shahida, for inviting me to come over and speak on this subject. Management of individuals in these crucial times is definitely of interest to all of us, but the performance management in the organizations definitely is more important, which is a means of getting better results from the organizations, teams, and individuals by understanding and managing performance within an agreed framework of planned goals, standards, competencies, requirements. It's a process of establishing shared understanding about what is to be achieved and an approach to managing and developing people to achieve the short and longer term goals of the organizations. It is owned and driven by the line management. Now, the ability of the line management to convert the organizational goals into team and individuals' objectives, followed by effective management of individual performance, is of vital importance for the long-term survival of our organizations. The effectiveness of people is dependent on the organization itself. Therefore, there is a need to align individual performance with organizational performance, enabling the strategic role of the organization to be cascaded down to the individual levels, and through their individual achievements, being able to drive the achievement of the business goals, objectives, and leveraging productivity of employees into organizational success. It is with this backdrop that we'll be discussing our today's subject, management of individual performance for effectiveness and increased productivity. We will try to identify the issues that influence the individual performance, including performance management processes and systems, and their position in the organizational environment, and how performance may be linked to individuals' pay and productivity. आपका मल्टीमीडिया किस तरफ पड़ा हुआ? नहीं, मेरे पास वो सर मेरे पास वो रिमोट कंट्रोल है। ये इधर से काम कर रहा था, वहाँ से नहीं कर रहा है, रेंज ज़्यादा हुई। So no problem. Remote control is useless because of the range. So here we are. This is the sequence in which we will be reviewing the subject. We'll first have a look at what is performance management. Thereafter, we'll see management of organizational performance. How does it link with the issue involved? And then we'll see performance management systems, processes, and environment. Thereafter, we'll have a look at the management of the individual performance and how to drive effectiveness and increasing productivity. Now, that has again two facets: effectiveness through motivation and linking performance to pay and productivity. And in the end, we'll summarize, followed by taking any questions you might be having. Performance management is a means to create and maintain a climate of success in the organization. This is what Martin Fisher, the writer of performance appraisals, has said. And he also adds to it that performance management is actually a means of achieving a win-win relationship with employees and sharing the success all the way. It's not only pushing the employees, it is not only pursuing the employees, and it is not only showing what the management wants to get done is really achieved through the employees. It is a win-win relationship. Another author, Armstrong and Barron, has defined performance management as a strategic and integrated approach to delivering sustained success to organizations by improving performance of people who work in them and by developing the capabilities of teams and individual contribution. Now this requires to be integrated, and there are 4 forms of integration within the organization which must take their place. The first one is vertical integration. This actually means anything which is going down as a performance requirement should actually start from the top and trickle down to the last person who is the performer. And in this, every person in the organization should be well aligned. The next is functional. There are various functions in the organization. All these functions should be integrated. If you have marketing, human resource management, finance, then all their systems within these functions should also be intricately involved with each other. Human resources. The systems of human resources themselves, they also need to be within themselves integrated. And the last but not least, the goals of the individuals must be integrated with the goals of the teams. The team's goals should be then in turn integrated with the goals of the departments or divisions, and ultimately the entire organization should have well integrated goals. Performance management is actually that part of an organization's people-related function which is performed by those directly managing the people. Now within any organization, there are at least 2 levels of efforts. Those are, number 1, a concern with the performance of the people. And the number 2 is how to optimize individual and collective output, which is in the form of results. Now, efforts at the organizational level determine the organization's internal environment. Similarly, efforts at the managerial level, which constitute core of the leader-manager role, what each manager does to supervise his or her managee. There are different views on performance management also. Various people have their own perceptions and perceptives. Few of them I have just highlighted here, and they're all in very easy terms. The first one is it is the record of outcomes achieved or the accomplishments of an individual. Another definition goes like this, that the outcome of work providing the linkage to the organizational strategic goals, customers, and individual economic contribution. This is what is performance management. The next one says the way in which organizations, teams, and individuals get work done, that is what is performance management. And the last one says, the second last one says, it embraces both behavior and outcomes. Now, performance management is not only getting work done or only related to the work people are doing. It is actually related to the way they behave while they are performing. And at the same time, what is the end product, that is the results they produce. So all these 3 have to be actually interconnected. The work people do, the behavior through which they perform to do that work, and the outcomes. And the last one is it means both behavior and results together. Now behavior actually emanates from the performer and then transforms performance from abstraction to action. Now let us see management of organizational performance in specific. The performance management organizations are likely to have the following characteristics. The first one is they have measurable performance targets. They do not just go into the air and start working. Everything is measurable, what is to be achieved ultimately as a result. The managee learning is linked with the organizational goals on the one hand and with the career development on the other hand. Now, the people who are performing within the organization, they are the managees. Now, while these managees are performing, they are also learning how to perform and also how to keep moving within the organization for a longer time, which is known as development. And then develop in the career also. When this is happening, this also needs to be linked with the goals of the organization. It doesn't have to be out of context learning. It doesn't have to be out of context experiencing the performance. Similarly, preeminence of intrinsic needs of managers without neglecting their extrinsic needs. You cannot expect the managers that they are only expecting internal needs which they have to be satiated while they are performing. They would also like to organize for their extrinsic needs which are visible to the people. And the last says ownership of performance management by line management rather than the personal function. It's not the function of people in the personal department or a personal function related to individuals. It is actually ownership of the entire line management to make the performance happen. Now the question comes, what does performance management bring out when we have a look at it? At the end, performance management brings out achievement of organizational and team effectiveness. It also brings effective processes of continuous development for the organization and individuals. It provides for the employee development. It addresses the core competencies of the organization and capabilities of individuals and teams. It provides for satisfying the needs and expectations of all the organizational stakeholders. They could be owner, management, employees, customers, suppliers, and the general public. And then, while people are performing within the organizations, it also provides communication and involvement among themselves for all the people who are working together. It also creates a climate of continuing dialogue between managers and the members of their teams to define their own expectations. It shares information on organizations' missions, values, and objectives, establishes mutual understanding of what is to be achieved, along with a framework for managing and developing people to ensure that they achieve their objectives. It brings to them development of a high involvement organization. Now, an organization where all these people are intricately involved, communicating with each other in the context of performance of their work, it is a high involvement setup. And organizations really cherish developing such a high involvement organization. It brings getting the teams and individuals to participate in defining their objectives and the means to achieve them also. So they have an alignment in what are the goals of the organization, what are the means of achieving them, and how they would be going to achieve them. The scope of performance management. Well, managing the organizations and its processes and results is one of the scope of the performance management, and it also concerns everyone in the business, not just the managers. It may be the person at the end who is down below. It also includes the top person who is managing the organization as a chief executive or any other name you might call it, maybe an owner. It ensures a holistic approach for the whole enterprise, that is at the organizational, departmental, team, and individual levels. The performance management is concerned with what people do, that is their work, how they do it, which is their behavior, and what they achieve, that is in the form of results. It also includes all efforts adopted by individual team and organizational effectiveness, including development of knowledge, skills, and competence. The organizational and individual performance linkage. The goals and expectations in an organization for group and individual performance would actually naturally flow from the organization's performance plans. They are the basis of all efforts on performance management. They may be the strategic plans, they may be the business plans, and they could be the annual plans, short-term plans, whatever plans there are in the organization. They are the base of the organizational and individual performance linkage. The organization's missions, goals, and its long-range or strategic plans, they form the base of all performance. The annual operating plans, circumscribing the team or project level performance goals also, they also are the elements of linkage. The values of the organizations, the work ethics to be observed in the course of achieving the goals, and the organization-wide job descriptions indicating skills and competencies needed. They are all interlinked and they have to be well connected. The last one, which is the job description having the competencies-based definitions, that is of crucial importance because that is from where all individuals actually take off to perform. Now, for the management of organizational performance, all these factors have to be absolutely clear and available in the organizations, which we have just named a number of times. Therefore, I would like to go forward. Now, what is the purpose of the performance management? The performance management is actually a means of getting better results from the organization, teams, and individuals by understanding and managing performance within an agreed framework of goals, standards, and competence requirements. It's a process for establishment of shared understanding about what is to be achieved and an approach to management and developing people in the way that increase the probability that it will be achieved in the short and long term. It is owned and driven by the line management. Now, it also covers competency levels and achievements as well as objective setting and review, thereby highlighting what would be the input and what would be the output. So, let us see the diagrammatic view of performance management and its purpose. Now, in this diagrammatic representation, you can see the purpose of performance appraisal system or performance management, as it is also called, has a number of purposes. The first one is the feedback for the employees or the people who are performing. That has to be intimately maintained within the organization. The next one is what is the criteria in testing and validating various issues within the organization based upon the competencies of individuals. Similarly, we need to have the objectives for the training programs. Where do they come from? They also emanate from the performance appraisal or the performance evaluation. And last but not the least, if you have all these things in front of you in the form of feedback, which is known as training need analysis, and the normal feedback which goes with the reviewing of the performance annually, that also provides a diagnosis of the organizational problems. And based upon all these things, you can make all the decisions related to employees and their employment. Now let us see the system, processes, and environment of management. Performance management system, it is a means to create and maintain a climate of success in the organization. This is what Martin Fisher said. And at the same time, let us see how does it happen within our normal organizational framework. So here is the diagram of any performance management cycle. You can have a look at it. everything starts from the strategic objectives of the organization, of course through the business planning process, and then what we get in the process is the departmental or functional objectives, individual objectives. Based upon the individual objectives, then we move forward to performance planning, managing performance, reviewing performance, and rewarding performance. And of course, training and career development is a byproduct of this system. This is another diagrammatic view of the linkage between the human resource management systems and the performance itself. Everything starts from the business strategy, from where you form your human resource strategy and you create your human resource practices. Now, the HR effectiveness depends on the human resource practices as well as the HR outcomes, which are employee competences, commitment, and flexibility. And what you ultimately get is in two forms. One is the productivity of the employees and the productivity of the organization, and the second thing is the quality of products and services which they produce. And that results in the final end product in the form of organizational performance. If you have a look at the human resource cycle itself, everything starts from selection or recruitment, and then it moves into performance management. Of course, in between you have orientation and training. And what you do is later on, based on the performance management, you reward your employees or you develop them. And you again have a performance review. Now, this is the complete picture of performance management. You can see here things start from the job description, move into objective setting, followed by you have a review or you plan with them an update on the performance management, how would they like to proceed forward. And then you have periodic reviews. They may be monthly reviews, they may be quarterly reviews, and you might have mid-year review and end of the year review. Now, out of these reviews, what you ultimately get is performance assessment. Now, this performance assessment then becomes the basis for rewards and recognition for the employees and also for the employee development or career planning. So, here is an opportunity to see their accomplishments, to motivate them for higher performance, and to see that things are really going on the direction where you had actually envisioned. Now, this is a diagram which shows what is the place of performance management in the environment of an organization. Now, within the environment, the first thing we find is again company strategic plans, from where everything comes down, and then what you have is periodic reviews, performance planning, and performance evaluation. Of course, the same rewards and recognition and employee development. But all this depends on other factors which are available in the organization. And the biggest of them is the organizational culture, which is on the extreme left. You have to create